In Peru, Lake Titicaca, the roof of the world, dries up. It's the highest navigable lake on the planet. It's 3,800 meters above sea level and is at the peak of a drought that began a decade ago. The historic low has already arrived. Known worldwide and a fundamental tourist destination for the two countries that share its jurisdiction, Peru and Bolivia, it's estimated that 3 million people survive thanks to this lake. What's happening in Titicaca is an example of what is happening around the world. Climate change, global warming, and increasingly more population, comments Javier Lazaro, researcher and director of the Permanent Observatory of Lake Titicaca. And as a consequence of the drought, not only the landscape changes but also habits. In the Quechua community, 60 families live. There's a large part of them that are dedicated to livestock, farming, and fishing. To feed the animals, they need green reeds, the aquatic plants. Sometimes that's increasingly difficult to obtain. Consequently, they began to burn the dry reed islands in the hope that new plants would sprout to feed the livestock. The landscape varies between the characteristic yellow of dry plants and the black of charred plants. People are going to the cities, says Oscar Limachi, a tour guide and fisherman from Quechua. If living in the countryside was always hard, now the conditions make it almost impossible. There is talk of climate migration, adds Professor Lazaro. Boats stranded on land, a jet ski between grasslands, slides that end on land. It would seem that someone pulled the plug out of the lake, Lake Titicaca. But what happened is that it should have rained during the La Niña phenomenon, and it didn't. With the incipient Niño, the prospects are not good. A shortage of water is predicted. Added that to this are two more factors: the decrease in tributaries and the evaporation of water due to the increase in temperature. Former island. To get to the island of Cojata, Google Maps marks the paths surrounded by water, but if you look up, the water is no longer there, and now we have a lake on only one side of the island, says Virginia Apaz Flores. Born and raised on the island, sadly, the situation is worrying. We do not have drinking water. We depend on rain. We no longer have anything, she says. And she adds that she observes her boat that she used for fishing stranded on the ground. Pollution. The Titicaca receives sewage effluents from the city of El Alto, the city that was formed around La Paz and where 1 million people already live. They arrive without adequate treatment and it's very serious, warns Xavier Lazaro. And as a consequence of this, it's no longer possible to bathe in the lake. There's a foul smell, and you can even observe the color change in the reed. The roots are black, so the reeds will be dying off too. And this is on tn.com by Jason Main. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.